Hello, Connective. Have the Getting into the Vortex and the High Vibe deck combined reading today. The High Vibe deck is the one where we rate our vibration, and then we do the exercise on the card, and then we rate our vibration again. And 1 being the lowest vibration, and 10 being the highest. And if your vibration is, around the same number, you can do the exercise again, try to raise it again. So we're looking for just 1 card. This is the High Vibe deck. The card is Vibe Holder. Definitely a new card. Put it over here and see what the Vortex has for us. Getting into the Vortex. Abraham. Do you have anything to go with Vibe Holder? My relationships are supposed to feel good. Yeah. They are, by the way. If you needed to hear that, they are supposed to feel good. It kind of sounds like we're supposed to read this one first here. Let's see what my relationships are supposed to feel good. Your life is supposed to feel good to you. Before your birth, you knew that the primary component of your physical experience that would offer the greatest value for your personal and collective expansion and joy would be the relationships that you would experience with each other. It was your plan to relish the diversity of your relationships and to choose from them the details that would make up your creations, and here you are. Relationships are supposed to feel good. I just want to throw out there that, people don't just like hang out with people to hang out with people. Like they hang out with them because they get something out of it. Sorry, it's the sage. But they're there because they get something out of it. So you want to make sure that when you're hanging around other people, that you're getting something positive out of it, and that they're getting something positive out of it. If their relationship with each other is negative in any way, I was going to say the reaction, but the interaction with each other somehow stems some sort of negativity. You're not expected to keep that and to continue that in your life. You're not. Your relationships are supposed to feel good. So let's read Vibe Holder. Think of someone you love, something that makes you happy, or imagine your favorite place. Hold that feeling. Hold it for as long as you can. The longer you hold on to good feelings, the longer they stay. I did talk about this in another video about how you can be somewhere physically and just grab another vibe. Just grab a vibe from somewhere else. A vibe that's good vibe. It's interesting to me because a girl at work said something the other day, and she's a fairly cheerful, intelligent woman. She's young though. And we deal with a lot of people. A lot of times, especially with the young ones, there's a lot of realizations when they're dealing with a lot of people. And she said, I don't like it when my mood changes when I'm here. That's what she said. And I knew what she was talking about, And I told her about this. I said, at any time, you can think about something you love. You like eating cotton candy or whatever it is. And just feel what it feels like to do that at that particular time. Sometimes people think of things that they don't have, like if it's cotton candy. And they say, oh, now I want cotton candy. No, not like that. You think about it like you already have it. You have it. I have it. I have cotton candy and you don't. I'm at work. I mean, I'm telling you, it is that simple. not a lot of people have figured it out yet. I mean, you can be in places, and people will laugh and all that stuff, but, I'm the master. I don't care how heavy it gets. In fact, going back in the day, if there was something stressful, the more stressful it got, the more jokes I had. Way before my spiritual awakening. They knew. They just accepted it because they had to. They had to. First of all, if you know somebody who can operate while the foot of God is standing on them and they're in a good mood, you're not going to get rid of them. But, I don't know if you heard my cat hissing at me because I wouldn't let her get up here. But, okay. Really, I do want to restate that you can be in a situation that, is not comfortable. Not comfortable was what I was going to say, but I was just going to basically say, less than ideal. You could just be, it doesn't even matter if you're just in a vibe or in a state that is just neutral. You just kind of go, I'm just sitting here and it's just kind of like whatever. Yeah, pull that vibe in. You don't have to be angry or sad or whatever, But yeah, definitely if your mood changes while you're somewhere, you could change it back. Nobody's stopping you, for sure. You can just change it back. You can go, wow, what just happened there? All right, I'm back. This is a really good card to be coming out with this. If you truly did rate your vibration and we're talking about this is a truly great card to be playing with. This is effective. Very much so, because you can pick wherever you want, what vibe you want to come in. So not only is it like a good vibe that you like, you're choosing it relative to the situation that you're in. So whatever vibe you're choosing can fit. Like for example, if you're on a desert island and you're eating something that you're like, wow, I never thought I would eat bugs. You can imagine that you're eating something else that's crunchy. I'm just saying, So, it really is anything, or you could just be on a desert island, thinking about being, at home in your air-conditioned house, It does help. And I guess I should explain why it actually helps, because again, in your moment, in your in the now, I was going to use the word dictating, but I don't like that word. I guess maybe establishes is a better word. You're in the now, the mood that you're in is gonna kind of pave the way for the vibe that you're in the future. So if you're allowing yourself in the now all the time to be uncomfortable, or whatever that feeling is, if you allow your mood to actually change in certain situations, especially situations where you might have to be there 5 out of 7 days a week, it's just, you don't have to. You don't have to. You really don't have to. You can just change it back, or you could just not change it in the first place. Or a lot of times, and I think I might have said this before too, you could put yourself in a place where they can't get your mood to change. It's not going to. People know what I'm talking about like when you have something happen in your life, like you have a really important, baseball game. Like say it's not just like a team, professional team. Like let's say it's your kid, really important baseball game, and you win that game. The rest of the day is just you're on a cloud, You can like, it doesn't really matter what happens. You're just. And again, as we've said, when you're in that state and things do happen, you don't really see it. You see it in a different way. So that the way that you would normally see it, that would like wreck your day, you don't see it in that way because your day is unwreckable. So it's one of those things where like you could just choose that vibe. It can get, like I said, it goes both ways. Like people that are not in spiritual awakenings, they do this. Like that, let's say somebody planned a trip with their girlfriend and all of a sudden their work called and said they couldn't go. But the girlfriend left anyway. She was like, well, I'm not working, so I'm going to go. And you're like, wait, you're going to go? Like you're going to just go? And she's like, yep, And then you're at work, the next day and, you're not going to break up with her over it, but you can choose to like kind of like be there with her. Like you're not there with her. I get that. But again, do you want to choose that state to be in? I'm not with her. Or do you want to choose that like I'm on a whatever, I was going to say deserted island, but it's probably going to be more like one of those, destinations. You can go to that might be fun, just you and your significant other on a deserted island, as long as you have like a satellite phone or something. Just in case. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Yeah, anything that brings this up, anywhere you are, especially in the now, it's important. It's important. It doesn't seem that important because the people around you aren't doing it, and I get that. But you know what else the people around you aren't doing? You see this? You see sometimes how people relate to each other and you go, my God, you're in the same family. What's happening? They're not even worried about their vibration, let alone holding it. So, a little harder to do if you are in a relationship that doesn't feel good. But again, if you are considering your vibration and where it actually is, why would you be in a relationship that doesn't feel good? And I don't care if it's a relationship with yourself, it's the same thing. If you can't accept yourself, vibration isn't that high. Put yourself in a place where you accept yourself. It's really important. It's really important. I mean, you see a lot more in a spiritual, a lot more is shown to you. Like people, people who aren't in a spiritual awakening, things are shown to them. They don't necessarily see it, maybe not even see any of it. In a spiritual awakening, a lot of times it tends to be a little bit louder. Like you kind of know what you don't always know what it's showing you, but when you're like lower than you should be, you kind of know, you go, I shouldn't feel like this. I'm trying to do all this good stuff. Why do I feel? Why is this here a problem? You start to notice it if you're doing the work. If you actually think about your vibration, you're very aware that the people around you aren't thinking about their vibrations. And that's okay. I mean, we're not here to change people. We just need to be aware. There's ways we can protect ourselves and things like that. But one of the ways that you protect yourself is by making sure that your relationships feel good. Really. You definitely need to make them outweigh the ones that don't feel good. But I'm telling you right now, if you care about this, don't entertain the ones that don't make you feel good. First of all, those relationships aren't about you. It's about the other person that doesn't make you feel good. Let them be friends with other people. Let them do that to people who don't care about this. It's too hard to get into the vortex and to raise your vibration if you're dealing with people who don't. The relationship is about them. So that's the first thing. And it doesn't have to be really complex. Ask yourself the question, does this relationship feel good? On a scale from 1 to 10. How good does this person make me feel? How bad does this person make me feel? What's my vibration before I get together with this person? What's my vibration afterwards? Do they change my state when they call me? Or, when they ask me to go out, is it just like they dump on me and now I feel like this and they go run off on their merry way? What is this relationship here? Because when they all feel good, you don't really ask the question. You don't say, why are my relationships feeling good? I mean, you can if you're trying to manifest something. You can. Sorry. It's the sage, guys. But, you could. I mean, you truly could. To raise your vibration, you could get up every day and you could say, how is it that my relationships are so good? How is it that my relationships feel so good? Why is it that my relationships feel so good? How do I keep getting more relationships that feel so good? I promise you will manifest it. Those people that they will fall away. So that could be done too. If you're trying to raise your vibration. But these types of cards these types of messages have been coming out like in different cards and different decks, and they're all kind of saying like, hey, don't entertain things that don't help you out, that aren't supportive, because this is a stage in your life where you need support and you need real friends and you need people that are, a little bit more aware of how they carry themselves, how they behave, what they put on you, what they exude, what they bring. You need that because you're trying to do something here. That feels good. You're trying to, both these guys, you're trying to do something here in your life that feels good. So even if it's not someone else, I mean, I talk about people a lot because of the persona of the you can put that like not feeling good on a person. But realistically, we're talking about anything. We're talking about your job. Does your job not feel good? Because there are other jobs out there. There are. And, does your relationship not feel good? Does a certain situation not feel good? Is there a way that you're making yourself feel that doesn't feel good? Is there something that needs to be addressed there? Because it truly is a waste of time to entertain something that doesn't feel good, whether it's a relationship or anything else. Anything else. Even if you make a mistake, this is what I've talked before about forgiveness. Even if you make a mistake and you're hard on yourself, you don't have to dwell there. You don't. You can even dwell in the vibe that you had before you made that mistake, if that's what you want to do. If you couldn't think of anything else and you were just in agony, you could just put yourself right back where you felt right before you made that mistake, if you wanted to. And I know that some people might think, well, if I made a mistake, I should pay for it. Well, I get the mentality, but we're not here to be perfect as people. And if you're on a spiritual path, and I know some mistakes seem like really heavy. Don't judge yourself. One of the things that we say too, especially when we're looking at the past, is not to judge yourself for decisions that you made when you were in survival mode. Your relationship with yourself is supposed to feel good too, and you don't have any power in the past. You can't change it. And in the future, you can't predict it. And now, you can set the tone for tomorrow by holding your vibration in a place where you want it to be. Where you want it to be. By holding your vibration in a place where your relationships feel good, even if they don't. Even if they don't. Because if all of the relationships that you have don't feel good, those relationships that do feel good aren't exactly going to come rushing in. for energetic purposes, but also for like people purposes. Like people aren't going to say, oh, that person has crappy friends, let me go be their friend. You know? So that energy of not having good relationships has to go before energy of having good relationships comes in. And you do have to have a good relationship with yourself in order to do that. Don't let other people lower your vibe. I mean, I'm sure I've shot a video similar to this using different words with the same message, and I do get that. Probably even different cards, you know. But this really is true about holding your vibration. These cards are about vibration, about law of attraction, your relationships, feeling good. That's the focus there. And being able to create that, hold whatever you want, really, when that card stands alone. So keep that in mind, that you have control. I think it even says that. Imagine your favorite place. Hold that feeling. Hold it for as long as you can. The longer you hold on to good feelings, the longer you stay. It actually might be this card. Greatest value for your personal and collective expansion and joy would be the relationships that you would experience with each other. It was your plan to relish the diversity of your relationships and to choose from them the details that would make up your creations, and here you are. So in an indirect way, it said that you had control, like you created it. Well, you did. I mean, we are talking about law of attraction. So even if you didn't, I feel like this one just alluded more to like you created it before this life. But what I'm telling you is like creating in this life, you know, when you have that thing that you don't want, you're trying to get the thing that you do want, and the thing that you don't want happens when you're in the middle of that thing that you do want. You had a great mood, now it's, you know, gone. You can get it back. You can get it back. You can go clear and get that thing back. You know? Make sure your relationships feel good while you're doing it. Until we meet again,